watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you once again for joining me for another half an hour of Can We Talk About It, where you already know we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Before I start today, I want to give a couple of shout outs. Okay, I want to give a shout out to my brother Darren. Happy birthday, Darren. Yesterday was his birthday, so happy birthday to my brother Darren. I hope he had a great time yesterday. Shout out to my son Robert, my favorite Reverend Glaze and his wife. Hello, Reverend Glaze, and hi, Mrs. Sunshine, Sister Sunshine, and last but not least, my husband, who has blessed me beyond measurement. If it wasn't for the Lord blessing me with this man, I don't know where I would be. I'm not feeling very well today. I got some type of bug, but I'm just thanking the Lord that I have my husband there watching over me, being with me, taking care of me. So thank you so much, Charles, for being there, being in my corner. If, like I said, if you wasn't there, I don't know what I would do. You make a world of difference in my life. You are my king. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. Today I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing I want to talk about are these restaurants or corporations, if you may. The reason I want to talk about this is me and my husband don't go out much because we're not meat eaters, and I just try to replicate the foods that I like to eat in the restaurants, and I just go ahead and I cook them at home. But we went to IHOP for Veterans Day because, you know, they serve free pancakes to the veterans, and my husband is a veteran. So when we got there, a young man, he was very nice. He came over, he took our order. But he had another wait staff bring our food. And when he brought our food, he had a plate smushed on top of my pancakes, and I was very upset about this whole situation. So I asked to see the manager. So when I asked to see the manager, you already know me, set my watch, waiting to see when the manager's coming. The manager never comes. It's like 25, almost 30 minutes, close to 30 minutes then pass. So I tell my husband, you know what, I'm about to call corporate. So the young man that came over that took our order and was supposed to bring our food, he was like, is everything okay? You know, I said, no, everything is not okay, and don't expect a tip. And I'm going to give you a little advice because I worked in wait staff. Never let somebody else bring your table food, because you're the one that was supposed to get the tip, and now you're not going to get it. So on that note, you know, I told him I was still waiting on his manager, and he was like he didn't know what was going on. Meanwhile, I'm calling corporate, and I'm telling corporate what's going on. They were supposed to be calling me back. When they do, I will let you know exactly what happened. But I called them. I told them about the young man that took my pancakes and smushed them all into this plate. Now, mind you, they have several places closing down because of hepatitis A, hepatitis C, different viruses that's going around, salmonella viruses and everything. And just because you put those plates in a dishwasher don't mean that they won't get contaminated once they hit a surface. So that's what I was mad about. I ended up not eating these pancakes. So what happened was, as I was talking to corporate, I'm letting them know what's going on, how this big guy came over here. He didn't care about my food. He was dressed slovenly, and to me, it was like he was there because somebody made him come to work, either go to work or get out my house, basically. That's the type of mentality he had on the job. So After I got finished talking to corporate, the manager comes over. Okay, mind you, she's an older woman. She's maybe 60, close to 70, 60 something, 70 years old. And she was like, as she's coming over and she's talking, she's like, oh, I didn't know y'all wanted to see me. And she's reaching over her food and she's like, I was in the bathroom. Who wants to hear that? And they're eating. So I'm like, don't touch nothing on our table and this, that, and the other. You know, I'm just letting her know. So she was like, is there anything I can do for you? I'm like, no, I've already called corporate. Wow. Now you acting like you like 15 years old. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with corporate. But I'm saying all this to say this, and it's going to tie in with something else that's going on that I wanted to talk about. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to put it in there. Don't let people make you feel bad about how you're feeling about a certain thing, or change, or make you feel like you got to go along to get along, basically. But I feel like this. When you see this type of stuff happening in these restaurants, if you don't tell somebody, it may make you or somebody else sick. All of this food that we spend millions, billions of dollars on going out to eat, we can basically fix ourselves. The only reason that I went with my husband because it was Veterans Day, and I know my husband likes pancakes. But we need to start doing better when it comes to, now I'm not saying be ratchet, because I've seen some women, oh, what is this? And it don't be nothing wrong, they just want a free meal. But when something is really wrong, because we didn't ask them to take nothing off our bill, and I didn't even eat those pancakes, and we didn't ask them to take nothing off our bill. But I'm saying that you do not let people send you anything to eat. And I'm the type of person, if I have to send my food back, then I'm not about to frequent your establishment anymore. Because I'm the type of person, if I send my food back, I think you're going to do something with it. So I do not want you touching my food. You only get one chance to make my plate. That's it. So I'm letting you people know, I've already told you this before, that if one don't go, none don't go rule. And everybody be like, well, that happened to her, that'll never happen to me. Then you end up sick somewhere because you weren't paying no attention to what somebody else was telling you. So what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you frequent places like this, now where I went, this was on Telegraph and Ford Road. And I went there to try to enjoy my lunch with my husband, and these people was just as nasty as they wanted to be. There's been a couple of times that I done came in there and tried to enjoy myself. One time I came in there and they were getting ready to seat us, and they actually had a woman with a broom sweeping. Now I'm a serve safe manager, so you're contaminating people's food and you're putting all this dust everywhere when you're sweeping. And it was like some elderly women sitting there, and I'm like, why are you sweeping around them when you could be contaminating their food? Now, they didn't want to say anything, but what they said to me was, thank you so much. We wanted to say something, but we didn't know, if we could. I'm like, yes, ma'am, yes, mother, you can say something. This is your food, this is your space, and they shouldn't be sweeping around your food. When you go out to these establishments, without you, they will fold. So when you go out, you expect the best service that you can get. Quit going to these places and allowing them to give you anything. They got these people that come to your table, they smacking on gum, they popping their lips, what do you want? How can I help you? Look, if you got an attitude, you need to give this job to a person that's better equipped to handle it. Because everybody is not in the right profession. Some people are in the wrong profession, believe me. I'm saying this to say that people are getting sick going to these restaurants, and I'm tired of seeing people or having wait staff try to treat me the way they treat other people. And it's so sad because I've had to just stop what I was doing, even though I was getting quality service in a certain place at a particular time. Somebody else wasn't. So there's been times when I've just stopped eating and walked over there like, don't treat them like that. And that's the way, as consumers, we all should be. But just because they're not treating you that way, you know, you're okay with it. And that's not cool. I wish I would go anywhere and eat and see wait staff talk or treat people's food like it's a joke. Because we got a lot of teenagers, young people in wait staff and cooks and everything. And I know some of us have seen some of these videos where they just be messing over folks' food. I'm wondering why the FDA is not getting involved with this. The Better Business Bureau is not getting involved with this, because there are cases where people have died from these situations, and these corporations are covering it up and sweeping it under the rug, and we still go to these same corporations. Like I seen on YouTube, there was a young man that worked at Golden Corral, and he was saying that the inspector was coming. They was coming to inspect the store. He said, "Let me show you where they put the food when the inspector comes." Now, mind you, is hamburgers that haven't been cooked yet, so it's raw hamburger meat and hamburger patties, ribs, corn, fish, string beans, whatever you know that Golden Corral fix. They have them in those big bakery trays that they push. They lock this food up in the trash bin next to the trash, and there's flies all over the food, and he's actually telling people, do not come here to eat, because this is how they treat your food. And we still go to these places. I'm not going to say shame on you, because if you get sick, that's enough. I don't need to say shame on you, because you're going to get sick if you keep going to these places and you see these people doing wrong and you act like, well, it'll never affect me. But when it do affect you close to home, you want everybody to jump on your bandwagon. Look what they did to me. Us as consumers need to start keeping a close eye out on what these people are feeding us, what you see them feeding other folks. Because I'm telling you, they are killing folks. Red Lobsters. I went to Red Lobsters and I told them that I did not eat meat. And I also told them that I did not eat linguine noodles or something. Linguine noodles. I wanted fettuccine. And I went there, and when I got my food, I told the young wait staff, I said, I don't know, I think her name was Janine. I told her, I say, look, I told you I didn't eat linguine noodles. I don't want this. I want fettuccine. She beatboxed her way back to the kitchen, and excuse me. I'm like, what is wrong with her? Not only her, I asked to speak to the manager. Now, mind you, as I'm asking to speak to the manager, me and my husband, we started looking around, and it's like all black people that's wait staff, black people that's working in the kitchen, and is one white person, well, a couple of white people. I think one of the white people was the back cook, one of the cooks in the back, or the head cook in the back, or whatever. Then there was the manager. And I'm like, they're running this place like a plantation, because everybody that's working basically is black. And they're not caring how they're treating folks. And I actually did call Red Lobsters, and the people at corporate, they were very, very nice to me. Now, I can't say that they weren't. But I'm going to also let you guys know, too, sometimes that's a trick, too. Because they feel like as long as they say, yes, ma'am, okay, this won't happen again, you know, don't worry about it. As soon as you get off the phone, ain't nobody thinking about them. So what I'm telling you guys is, when you have a valid reason to call corporate, do not hold them up. When things go on in these places, videotape them. Let somebody know about them, because that's just a shame. People shouldn't have to go somewhere and worry about who's going to do what to their food, or when they bring their food, is it going to be smushed up, or if you ask for management, are they going to talk to you like you don't have any type of education or home training? So let me get off this, because that just really made me angry. So just please pay attention to what you eat, what you put in your mouth, where you go, the way folks talk to you. Please, please pay attention to that. Another thing I want to talk about too, when it comes to, it's not wait staff, but it's still people servicing you. I go down to Harper Hospital a lot, and they got the Harper Hospital valet is like Carmanos, and then further down I think it's 4601 or 4201 John R. or something like that. And I've been going down there because my cardiologist is down there, and I've been dealing with these people like 2 or 3 years. The people that's there now, they've driven my truck off premises to do what they wanted to do, because I have my camera everywhere I go. When I go to these places, I film my speedometer, how much mileage that's on my how much mileage that's on my speedometer, and my gas. And they've driven my car. They have a nasty way of talking to folks. When I try to talk to the manager is very nasty and rude. And my next step is going to be to call corporate, because I've been, admitted to the hospital. I've been going through quite a bit since the last time we talked. And then this last recent time when I went to go see my cardiologist, they had a young man go get my vehicle. And he comes, flailing around this big brick beam and almost hits the beam. And when he pulls up, I'm like, what is your problem? That is not your transportation. You almost hit. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So I haven't called Harper Corporate on this yet, but I will. But what I'm saying is, when people do these things, you need to speak up. Because like I said, there are a lot of people that's in the wrong profession. And if you don't speak up for yourself, speak up for the next person. Because they may not have messed up something of yours or made you sick, but it's coming. It's coming. So please, please, people, speak up. Just speak up. So all of this, like I said, is going into what I've been talking about. But now, when I was talking about don't let people, make you feel bad when you have your own mindset, when you feel a certain way about certain things. I just want to say that your friends and family will do this more than anybody will. And you may feel a certain way about a certain thing, and they'll get mad at you. They don't want to talk to you no more. They threaten you with not wanting to be bothered with you no more. Now, I've been in this situation plenty of times, and this even goes for people that you may work with. If you don't do things they way, then they act like they don't want to have nothing to do with you, and then they rally other people not to want to be bothered with you. The only reason people do that is because you don't stand your ground. And I'm talking to my brothers and sisters out there that have the sweetest of spirits, but don't know how to confront a person, or they're not quick-witted with their words. And then when they leave, they be like, oh, I should have said such and such and this, that, and the other. Look, when somebody gets down on you or say something you don't like, it ain't all about being quick-witted. It ain't all about trying to blast nobody. It's all about your heart and how you feel. I'm telling you this because there are so many people that's stressed out, internally stressed out from other folks, and you don't have to be. You really don't have to be. If a person don't want to be around you, if a person don't want to deal with the things that you're saying, then let them fly away. Because where one fail, another one will come in this place. We're all linked to each other in one form or another, because we're all on this world. We're all humans. Some people feel there's a lot of bullies. I'm just going to put it like that. There's a lot of bullies out here that feel like if you don't go with they flow, you ain't nothing. I can't use you, and nobody else is going to use you. And I wish people that sit around and see these people doing it to people they know that don't have a voice, I wish you folks would start standing up for these folks. And to the bullies out there, if you don't stop doing that, you are in for a big heartache, or something bad is going to happen to you. Because we were not put on this earth to downgrade, denigrate, and make other people feel bad about their lives. Because your life is so in shambles, and you feel like if don't nobody get on your bandwagon, you go home and be crying in your pillow and feeling like don't nobody love you. Guess what? They may love you, but don't nobody like you. Nobody wants to be around a bully. Stop it. Stop treating people like they owe you something. You owe yourself. To my people that don't have a voice, please, you have to find it. You have to find your voice, even if that means people are going to walk away from you. You have to find your voice. There are so many people out here that prey on folks that don't speak up for themselves. And you cannot live in a world where you cannot speak up for yourself. You're excuse me. You're internalizing all this. You're causing yourself grief. You're causing yourself undue stress. Nobody is going to love you as much as you do. You ain't never been through this. Let me tell you something. I've been through that and more. I've been in situations where people done told me, you say something, I'm going to bust you in your mouth. Or I will say something, and when I get somewhere, I get stomped out because I spoke my mind. So I know how some of you people feel. But if you stand up to these people, trust me, they're going to leave you alone, and they're going to try to find somebody else. One of three things are going to happen. They're going to leave you alone. They're going to leave you alone and go find somebody else. Or they're going to respect you, and they're going to start telling other people not to do that to you. Now, if you don't find your voice, you know, some people be like, I'm always going to be this way. It's always going to be this way. I'm a victim. Stop playing the victim. Stop pulling the victim card all the time. If you want to be a strong, productive person in this world, a lot of people play the victim role. And they get into this role and get lost in this role and can't find their way out of this role. I was one of those people. Stop playing the victim. We all got a voice. We're all entitled to feel how we want to feel. We're all entitled to say no if that's how we're feeling. There's people out here that then let this go on in their lives, and I was one of them for years and years and years. Then they're like, how did I get to this place? You have to backtrack. You really do have to backtrack and find out when, and get to as close as you can find out when this happened. Then you got to pray on this thing and ask the Lord to give you a boldness that you've never known before. And I'm going to tell you something, it's exhilarating. It will regenerate you. It will make you feel better about yourself. Don't let people tell you, do it my way or it's the highway. Then let them do it their way and you go on and walk that highway, boo, because it's something better down the road. Please believe me. We go through life, some of us, we go through life feeling like if we can't get in the in crowd, we're nothing. Let me tell you something. People that think out the box are the most misunderstood people in the world. But let me tell you something. They're the most popular. A lot of people don't want to believe that. A lot of people don't want to say that, but they are. There's nothing wrong to walking to the beat of your own drum. Nothing at all. It's when you go with the masses. Well, they're saying it. I might as well say it. Well, they're doing it. I might as well do it. Not if you don't think it's right, then don't do it. That's just the same thing, and it always goes back to spirituality or whatever, with Jesus. Everybody wants to say, because, the religious men, they felt like when they were out and about, people were supposed to reverence them and in other words, kiss their feet and all this stuff. When the Lord was like, don't do it, because I know what you do in the dark. All of us got two faces. One is good and one is humble, or one is good and one is bad, or one is deceiving and one is, the variety goes on and on and on. And it's up to you. We all need to start using our intuition when it comes to the people that we're around. You cannot let everybody in your life. You cannot let everybody in your circle, people. There's people that will tell you they are your friends and they're for you, and they're not. A lot of people will tell you that because they want to use you. There's some type of unique talent that you have that they need, and they're nice to you up until the time they don't need you no more. Then they sit up, they intimidate you to make you walk away, and then they say, well, I didn't tell them to leave. Know your worth, people. Know your worth. Know who you are and whose you belong to. There was times when I was in bad relationships where I felt worthless. I felt like, will I ever be over with this? Will this ever stop? Will people, Lord, will there ever be a better day for me? And you know what I heard in my mind? Until you step up, there'll never be a better day for you. Until you say no, there'll never be a better day for you. Sometimes the Lord has to get you by yourself, people. He has to get you by yourself so you can reflect, look back on, reminisce, find out where you went wrong, what was going on. If you don't do this, I guarantee you, if you don't do this, you will continue to fall in the same trap that people tend to say, okay, well, I won't do it no more. And you still be like, okay, I'm going to forgive you. There's a difference between forgiving somebody and letting them continue to hurt you. There's a lot of people, I've forgiven them for the things they done to me. That don't mean they got to be all up in my space, making me feel bad. And they don't have to be all up in your space, making you feel bad. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, tell the Lord to give you the strength that He's been waiting to give you, and live your life. You got to live your life, people. I love you guys so much. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, caller, I'm out of time. But if it wasn't for the things that I've experienced in my life, I wouldn't be able to come to you and talk to you guys about these things. And I just want the people out there that's going through this to know that I care about you. I'm praying for you. I want you to be better people. And until next week, please, people, stay strong.